Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Pure Michigan Properties Podcast. My name is Dylan and I'm joined with
Shalaunda.
Hello everyone.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. It's after Thanksgiving, still digesting, excited, nervous, and ready to jump in it. What about you?
I'm so excited. I woke up this morning like we're filming the first episode.
Yeah.
So I think we should start off by telling people what this podcast is about.
So Dylan, would you say would it make sense if we just introduce ourselves today and also just let the community know what we do and why we do what we do?
I think that would be a great start. Not even a great start. The best start.
The best start. Well, without further ado, I'll introduce myself. My name is Shalaunda. I grew up in the hometown of Detroit. I graduated high school in way back when. Prior to graduating, I did receive my license as a nursing assistant, where I later entered the workforce as a nursing assistant, a patient care tech for 13 years of my life. In addition to that, I also worked as a cashier. Dylan doesn't know, he's learning just as you all are learning. I did work as a cashier, which allowed me to, I would say, engage with folks from all walks of life. Mm-hmm. And it allowed me the opportunity to learn people. And that was very exciting for me. My experience, in addition to being a cashier and working in the workforce, I also went to school, Merrickville College, for forensic science. I used to watch Dexter. I wanted to be a blood splatter specialist.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Wow. That's completely different from what you're doing now.
Completely different from what I'm doing now. But life threw
keep people on their toes.
Life threw some curveballs, and I had a child to take care of, so I just entered the workforce. But the workforce didn't seem natural to me. Mm-hmm. So here I am today, a realtor, and I've always been that point of contact for individuals, and I love what I do. We all have one basic need in common, and that's the need of shelter. So I'm here to educate and ensure that, individuals unlock the keys to their future, whether that's buy, sell, or investing in real estate.
That was really good. I don't know how I'm going to top that one.
Oh, you got it, Dylan.
So my name is Dylan Mostyn. I'm very happy to be here with Shalaunda. Shalaunda and I pretty much got into the industry, I would say, around the same time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of been cool. We've been learning a lot about the industry at the same time together, pretty much. And it's really been cool because a lot of the times we'll sit down in the office and we'll just pick each other's brain. We'll say, hey, this is what I'm doing with my business. What are your thoughts? Or what do you think? Can you give me some advice? And it's really cool because we get two different perspectives. And I think one of the things why we wanted to start this podcast is because we think very differently, Shalaunda and I, but we always come together and
we have some great ideas.
It's like beautiful, the ideas. I don't know what other way to say it, but it's just when we brainstorm together, the way that we think, it's different. It really is.
Yeah.
But a little, oh my God, wait, why did this stop? Oh, never mind. Sorry. Technical difficulties. But one of the things the reasons why I got into real estate is because I genuinely love people. I love getting to know people. I love understanding people. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest thing really for me is understanding people's motivations.
Okay.
And to me, that's me sitting down with you for however long I really think it would take me to gauge, but really understanding your why. And I think that's why we wanted to start with this podcast, is so you guys can understand our why and why we got into this industry. And I think it's a great introduction. You get to know us on a more personal level rather than let's just talk real estate the first podcast, right?
Yeah.
Because that gets no surface level rather than you understanding us, and we want to understand you as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've learned that throughout my years on earth is most issues stem from the lack of knowledge. And
100%.
yeah,
I mean, what's the saying? Knowledge is power.
yeah.
If the more knowledge you have, and I'm a big believer as this. Sorry, I kind of took over.
No, you're good.
I was just gonna say, you're never gonna hit a point in your life when you know everything, and I think that's also something that excites me about this industry because it's constantly changing and transforming, and it really keeps you on your toes, to be honest.
Absolutely.
To where you get to learn and grow each and every day. Sorry,
Yeah.
I totally stole your thunder. Go ahead.
Dylan, do you? You know, no pressure. No, I don't feel any type of way. But just to piggyback off what Dylan was saying, you know, just knowledge is power, and we live in a society where there is so much diversity, and in order to learn, we must have these conversations, and we must just listen to understand one another, and you know, have respect, and you know, that's how I feel, at least.
So let's jump into honestly our big why.
Yeah, well.
So let's just go right there.
Let's do it. Go ahead, Dylan.
So Sean, I'm gonna have you start actually. Ladies first.
Ladies first.
So you started off not in real estate. Talk to us about what you did before then and what really made you decide that you want to get into a new industry and specifically real estate.
Okay, I can do that. So prior to me starting real estate, I actually worked in construction. I worked for Traffic Management Incorporated, and I worked as a traffic controller, and I absolutely loved it. However, it was one of the most dangerous jobs I've ever done in my life. So I have 4 kids, right? I'm a single parent of 4.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been instances where I could have lost my life, right, in traffic control, working on a freeway, distracted drivers. And I just figured, hey, how else can I use my skills, my talent? And during this time, I also just had to evaluate myself, right, and figure out what my purpose really was as well. And over the course of several years, I had gone into school. I double majored in business administration as well as mortuary science because it's something about, I don't know. I don't know. Something about science, that's what we'll say, that I just can't get away from. So one day, leaving work, I had to evaluate, hey, what else is it that I am supposed to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And funny story, I don't know if I shared this with you yet, Dylan. This particular day, I have been thinking real estate. And to put the icing on the cake, not the cake on the icing.
I love icing.
I get a phone call, and the person on the other line say, hey, this is David Fisher, the realtor. Are you still looking for a home? And I'm like, hey, funny that you call. What a coincidence. Like, I'm not in the market for looking for a home, but hey, is your office accepting, new realtors? He's like, yeah, we're always looking for new realtors. I said, I tell you what, I'll give you a call back and we'll talk further because I'm interested in real estate. Mm-hmm. And honestly, that's pretty much how my journey started in real estate. At my last job as a traffic controller, I was always everyone's sister. I'm the one that, they just relied on, point of contact, even in life with my friends. So I'm very resourceful, and I try to help everyone just because of the intrinsic, reward and feeling that it gives me.
Right.
So that's about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about that.
So that's your big why.
That's my biggest why. I love helping people. I've always felt resourceful, and we all need a place to stay. We all need home.
100%.
And home is a peace haven, it should be at least. So I feel like in order to, I guess, achieve or have that peace, right? It all starts with real estate, to be honest.
I love it.
You love it?
I love it. Good answer, Shalaunda.
Good answer. Well, it's the true answer.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good answer, but
no, I mean, that's the whole thing is everyone's why is going to be different, right? So, I mean, having your specific why, because at the end of the day, if you're using someone else's why or another motivation factor,
it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. One, because you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
Because you're not living to what your motivation, or also your fire. To me,
True.
like, I think whenever about my big why is it lights a fire under me.
Oh, absolutely.
It pushes me. It makes me want to grow. And I think also the other thing with that is it makes me see and clarifies the opportunities that are out there.
Yeah.
That I think maybe other people just don't see for their own reasons. But for me, it really lights a fire under me.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely.
Oh, Dylan, get up and let's get it going.
Let's get going. Yeah.
Life is short. Like, you can't just sit around and at least not try. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Is I love to at least try different things or just try to experience things that maybe like I wouldn't have done if I didn't want to. And I think that's also the difference is motivation with discipline.
Oh, yes.
Is that there's a lot of people that are motivated, but like motivation, like as we all know, only lasts for a certain amount of time.
You have to be disciplined.
But if you have the discipline and the determination to really achieve something,
absolutely,
I really wholeheartedly believe that you can.
Oh yeah, absolutely, anything.
And I think that just all stems down with mindset.
100%, Dylan. I totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
I think we just cracked the code.
That's it.
Mindset, guys. We're done.
That's it. It's a wrap for today. That's our message today. Mindset. Yeah, Dylan. So, what else?
So for me, so I'll tell you about my why actually. So my why is that when I was born in the Ukraine. I was adopted, so I had a lovely family. Well, my parents who adopted me, but it really showed me like how different my life could have been if I didn't have this opportunity in front of me, this beautiful life that I have. And it really shows me that there's so much out there that to achieve. I think that really is what I would say. Mm-hmm. So many opportunities, so many different things that really I just want to experience. Yeah. And I think the other factor that comes into it is that I'm surrounded by a lot of people who are in business, like my family and friends. Okay. And I see that, and like that motivates me, to be honest. Like I see my friends or I see my family, I'm like, ooh, I want what you guys achieved, plus more, to be honest. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that, saying like, listen, I want to work harder for myself to provide. One, because I want to, when I do have a family, I want to be able to have them have a great life. Like that's really what it's about. Is because listen, you can make as much money as you want, but what's that money for?
Right. That's right.
That's really what it stems down to. Is what are you going to use that money for? And some people, like, they love flashy cars, they love flashy clothes, they love a nice house. Don't get me wrong, if you're looking for a nice house, you know who to reach out to. But I mean, listen, I love that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong. But I think at the end of the day, it's always been about family for me, just because family really has provided a lot of opportunity for me. And I think
family
that's
first
100%. I'm a big believer in always stick by those who stick by you. Mm-hmm. And family has always stuck by me. So those are the people that I want to use my resources or help out any way that I can. Okay. And it generally just comes down to people. Yeah. At the end of the day, that's really my motivation, is because I generally love
people.
I love understanding people. I think that's really it.
That's it.
Like even just like when I'm first meeting someone, I'll like ask them like a million questions just because I want to know you.
I remember the day that I first met you, Dylan. And like Dylan said, we started in the industry around the same time. And it was just something that it just, your energy, it just drew me in. And
I
we
think
just had a
that
great conversation.
no, I remember the first time we were sitting out in the cafe and Shalaunda walks in and I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm designing something on Canva or something. And she's like, "Hey, like I want to introduce myself." And first of all, let me clarify. Biggest smile, just like brightest, like the best energy you could ever possibly imagine, times 10. Imagine that.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's what Shalaunda really like when she walks into a room,
sweet.
she brightens up that room.
Thank
But so you walked in, I think you had like a question or something. You're like, "Hey, like, can you help me out with this or whatever?" I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Something like that.
Something.
Yeah.
And then we started kind of like talking, and then that's like when we both first kind of joined. And I was like, "When did you join?" And she's like, basically then. I was like, "Oh, I joined at the same time." Like, "Hey." So we kind of started talking about that and building like a friendship really off of that. And it's so funny because I think we talked for like at least like 30, 35 minutes. 30.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I know I didn't get much work done.
Zero work was done. But actually,
it was great.
Honestly, it was really good because you know what? That really built a good foundation for where our friendship is now. And I mean, look, after a couple of short months, we started a podcast.
Pure Michigan Properties Podcast. With Shalaunda and Dylan.
Hey, subscribe.
Hit the button.
But I think for me, one of the reasons I love real estate a lot is also the freedom behind it. And I love the fact because we both worked for other people before, and we understand how that dynamic works. And I'm not saying that I couldn't ever do it, but I'm going to say that.
I love owning my own time, I think is how I would put it. As a single mother, for the flexibility that real estate offers. Another reason why I get up and do it. And then I love it. I just love it. Like, I actually love it. If I do not wake up and love what I'm doing, I'm not going to do it.
Cheers to that.
I'm not going to do it. So,
100%.
I understand.
And for me, even coming back, like I know, like I keep talking about opportunities, and like that to me is, I think, what is the exciting part every day when I wake up is because you never know what the next day brings or what that day is going to bring.
That's right.
For me, like I could get $1 million listing. You never know.
That's right.
You never know, and that's the cool part.
Here's the thing, Dylan. This is how I feel. Right. Anything in life we do, we have the opportunity to create our own lane. And if we work hard enough, right, then you can achieve whatever your goal is. But you first have to get up and take hold and never miss your opportunity to shine.
100%. And I think that also stems really from just doing action.
Action.
So many people have ideas, and I've had a lot of conversations with family and friends about like things that they want to do or whatever. And I think it really just stems down from like, you can talk about it. It sounds great in your head, but like if you can't perform or do it at least, then there was no point to having that conversation, really.
So here is one thing about me, and I don't know if you know, but I'll let everyone know. In high school, I was a member of the JROTC, and for 2 years, I was served as the executive officer, and we had to go to staff cap each year. And one thing that I was taught by Major Overton, that was her name, Major Overton, is to get around to it. No matter what it is, just get around to it. And the only failure is not trying. You only fail if you don't try. If you do not execute, you fail. And so
like you just said, I'm such a big believer in you'll never fail. You'll only learn. And I think that's like what we talked about is like, that's why I love this industry, because you're constantly learning. And I mean, there's been things that I've done in like my career, just like even in my life, that like haven't worked out. But I would never consider that a failure.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not.
I only, like you say, I only consider it a failure if I didn't even try.
Yep. That's
so what's the worst that happens if you didn't succeed, I guess you can say? You learn.
You learned.
Yeah. And you can take that, revise it, and perfect it.
Absolutely.
Every single day. And
Absolutely.
That, honestly, you know what it's really just about?
What's
Continuous improvement.
Yeah.
That's really what it's about.
But that's life in general.
No, 100%. You can apply that to your whole life, not just your career, your industry, your whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
It's a whole blanket.
Absolutely.
Blankets your whole life. So let's wrap this up. So I kind of want to give the viewers or our audience kind of an overview of what they should expect going forward with the podcast. Shalaunda, do you want to kind of go off that, or?
Yeah, sure. I'll take over a little bit, elaborate more. So I feel like what's to come in the near future is we're having fun, right? We just want to have fun, but we also would like to educate our community as to the different sides of each transaction. And that we just hope, please engage with us. Let us know what you feel as well. Any questions that you may have, feel free to reach out to me at least. And I'm sure Dylan would probably feel the same.
I do. Like, no, do not reach out to me.
Yeah, reach out to us. You can find me on social media, Instagram, Shalaunda, spelled SHALAUNDA _ realtor, something like that. And also, we would love to hear from you and get an understanding as to what it is that you need. We do have some special guest appearances as far as.
So who we want to bring on is other agents in our office, especially our coaches, our leadership team, people who really have understand this industry well and know how to articulate it to a standard that we think our audience would really enjoy. Yeah. And they honestly, the cool part about it is they provide a lot more, or I wouldn't say a lot more value, but like they would provide value. But the whole general consensus of this podcast really is to, one, help people understand what goes into the industry of real estate, specifically just going into the buying, the selling, and the investing aspects of things. So we'll be talking about first-time home buyers, what the process really looks like for when you're first buying your first property, because that could be a lot for someone. Investing, what do you really look out for when you're investing? Are you looking at your ROI? What aspects are you really trying to figure out in those values? And then selling, what does it look like when you're selling a property? Because you can put a for sale sign in the yard, but there's a lot more that really goes into it.
Absolutely, sure.
The general public doesn't understand. So the whole goal of this whole podcast is to have people understand the whole industry as a whole. And I guess we'll be kind of revealing some like secrets about the industry, just saying like, hey.
They have to stay tuned to figure out. But again, we do have some special guests, along with, like Dylan mentioned, our coaching team and our leadership team. We will have, I know at least I've invited a credit repair specialist, a financial planner, and another big why for me is to help with legacy planning. You know, what are you doing with real estate? 3 of the reasons or ways to build wealth includes real estate.
100%. I mean, isn't that like one of the biggest reasons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inheritance, business, and real estate are the 3 ways to build your wealth portfolio. And so keeping that in mind, hey, dig around, find out.
100%. So the whole goal, like we said, the whole goal is the podcast is to really get you the whole overview of the real estate industry. Just so we can set some clear expectations with you guys. You'll be getting an episode out every Wednesday is when we will be putting out episodes for you guys. So every week you'll get a new episode. We'll switch off between buyers, sellers, first-time home buyers, investing, all of that. So you'll get the whole wraparound. Really, at the end of the day, you can pick and choose what episodes you want to listen to, what intrigues you.
No, you cannot. You cannot pick and choose whatever. No.
Well, I mean, if an episode sounds interesting to you.
All, because at one point in your life, you may choose to take a different avenue. So.
Right. You never know. But the whole goal is really just so you guys can get a better understanding of real estate. And we're excited to take you guys on this journey with the Pure Michigan's Properties podcast. So stay tuned.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.